Age of Enlightenment, Part 28, Facts versus Interpretation. I should learn this from my late dad. He used to always follow my games in the newspaper. And for you young people, newspaper used to be these things that people picked up and actually read. But there was a thing called the box scores. And I would be explaining the game to my dad, and I would give my interpretations. Oh, Dad, the refs were biased, and we were cheated. And my dad would be looking at the box score. Box score had the facts. So first of all, he didn't ask a question he didn't already know the answer to. So he go, son, what's that first number, that 10? Oh, that's how many shots I took, Dad. He goes, well, what's that second number, son? That 5. Well, that's how many I made. And he just laughed and he go, well, son, it doesn't sound like they cheated you. It sounds like you need to shoot better. Again, interpretation versus facts. And I see it every day. Like, you probably see jewelry on me that you may not see a lot of times when I post. Like, this is a crucifix I actually purchased at the top of the Vatican, which was really cool. They have a gift shop at the top of the Vatican, and nuns were the salespeople. So yeah, like, no haggling, because I went to a Catholic school for 12 years, so I can't argue with a nun. They're married to God. Seriously, you're gonna argue with a nun? I'm not going to. Anyway, my ring, and a lot of times when I post, you don't see me posting my ring, but see how easy it comes on and off? Because I'm 20 pounds lighter now than when I got married. You get old, you get thin and frail, and I have an anniversary ring where it's as unique as my wife. She put the diamonds on the side so they wouldn't get knocked off when I train, because I'm a professional trainer. And I have one bracelet from each of my boys. This from my older son, this from my younger son. So you may look at me and think, he wears a lot of gaudy jewelry. The smartwatch may be passable because, I'm a trainer and most trainers wear some type of smartwatch. But all the other jewelry, you think, is he just a jewelry guy, or it's really a bit much? But you didn't know, anniversary ring, gifts from my boys, wedding ring. As a Christian, I really love this crucifix. It actually has the image of Christ on the crucifix, and I've always wanted a cross like that. So, but my facts don't trump your interpretation. You may still think I wear a lot of gaudy jewelry. So my facts may or may not change your interpretation. Well, when it comes to this evil and corrupt administration, there are facts. Let's just go back the last news cycle. My buddy Pete Hegseth, the gift that keeps on giving. This moron can't stay out of the news cycle. As soon as he's, past one news cycle, he does the same damn thing again. I mean, just over and over. That boy just can't stop doing stupid stuff. But anyway, there are facts. He talks on his personal cell phone. He gives away military secrets. He talks about things not being classified that every expert that is interviewed says is classified. These are war plans that he's given out in real time over unsecured. He's a hot mess. And those are the facts. Now, I would love in the comments, leave your interpretation. Maybe you think the guy looks snazzy because he got a little makeup room installed at the Pentagon. Maybe he's probably the most handsome, defense secretary we've ever had. I know Boebert thinks she's one of the most attractive people because every time she comes out, she's in a new outfit. But I digress. She's not even one of my examples. The other one is Donald Trump at the Pope's funeral. All the world leaders managed to find something black to wear. Donald Trump wore a blue suit. Now, both of my parents have passed. I hosted both of their funerals. And like I said, I grew up in the black community, so we had some very colorful outfits. So we may have had some blue suits, but we had some flowery dresses. And I think some of the deaconesses actually wore white at my mother's funeral. But the point is, those were the facts. I knew, my interpretation was they didn't mean any offense by it, because I know the people in my mom's church and I know they loved her, and they just probably wore the best they had. Some of them may not even own a black suit. But anyway, I digress. Donald Trump even if he didn't own a black suit, he'd go out and get one, or somebody go out and get one for him. Okay, they make black suits in that size. He's 215 and 6'4" and 215, I think, his last physical results. So I'm sure they could find a suit to fit him. And he was very disrespectful. They talk about he's chit chatting and talking with Melania. Probably the only time they talk is at a funeral, because I never see them together any other time. And just a hot mess, like sleepy. And boy, if Joe Biden would have slept at the Pope's funeral, we would have had to broadcast that out into space to let aliens know, because it would have been the top news story of the day. Come on, I'm right. And lastly, they just deported 3 children, wait for it, that were U.S. citizens. This is in the last news cycle, so I'm not going way back in the Wayback Machine. Okay, this is something you can, get on your phone, and it probably comes up on your current news feed. So I'd love, just in the comments on whatever social media platform you do this, and my name is my website, so if you need to reply to me, I'm easy to find. Folks, this evil and corrupt administration is a hot mess, and that's as the most vulgar terminology I could use, barring profanity. Okay? I could not think any worse of this current president, the people he's appointed. And to be honest with you, you sorry people that voted him into office, kind of pissing me off too. Okay? But I don't even think you thought it was going to be this bad. You thought he was going to be bad, but he was going to be bad toward other people, like the people he's deporting. But he's tapping into your 401k, and he's affecting your school or your state funding. Or when you have a disaster in your state, maybe you're not getting approved even though you're a red state. I'm sorry, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I'm speaking to you. Yeah, I'm sorry, just in case you didn't perk up there. Folks, we've got to make a change. I love some of the things like Cory Booker and Akeem Jeffries, sitting on the steps of the Capitol. I love stuff like that. We got to start thinking out of the box. Does that do anything? You know what? It does something to me. It makes me feel good. It makes me think, you know what? Certain members of Congress realize we're suffering. Okay, as an American brand, as citizens, we're suffering under this evil and corrupt administration. So any attention you can bring to that, great. My 5 social media followers, clicking on this, great. Call your representative. Leave them a voicemail, even if they're like-minded and they agree with you. Let them know we're out there. We're pissed. We're sick of this. We want different representation. So when it becomes available, when an election comes up, vote, and don't vote for the same knuckleheads. For the love of Pete. Okay? Let's do that. Let's start there.